Honorable Remedios Rican, Chair of the Philippines Commission on Women, Ms. Sharon Armstrong, Director and Counselor for Indonesia and ASEAN, Embassy of Canada, Senator Shahani, Senator Rasool, distinguished guests and colleagues from the government and civil society. I join in welcoming you to this closing consultation on the project Improving Women's Human Rights in Southeast Asia. We hold this meeting on the occasion of the 35th anniversary of the Philippines' ratification of CEDAW, and at the outset of the 60th session of the Commission on the Status of Women here in New York, at which member states will be considering women's empowerment and sustainable development. This consultation in the Philippines is also taking place in the Women's Month, and so there is much achievement to celebrate, as the Philippines has led the region in the adoption of gender equality norms and standards. In fact, the Philippines was the first of the ASEAN countries to ratify CEDAW and one of the very few to ratify CEDAW's optional protocol. And the data on the Philippines bears out the results of consistent and concerted efforts by the government and the women's movement to promote substantive equality. The Philippines ranks 7th on the Global Gender Gap Index, which tracks economic participation, educational attainment, health and survival, as well as political empowerment. And there's real progress in education and health, while there is more to be done in equality of representation in the political and public decision making. This progress has been stimulated by strengthened legal frameworks, but beyond the laws and policies lies the hard work of implementation, a global problem because of lack of sufficient political will and inadequate investments and resources for gender equality. So strengthening state accountability to implement CEDAW responsive laws and policies was the focus of UN Women's Regional Program, which with the support from the Government of Canada has been implemented in 8 countries in Southeast Asia. Here in the Philippines, over the last 4 years, UN Women has had the pleasure of working with the Philippine Commission on Women, with the Commission on Human Rights, with members of the judiciary, with legislature, with representatives of civil society, with academia, and with organizations of rural, indigenous, and Muslim women. The Philippine Commission on Women is to be commended on its national and regional leadership, as it has led a broad consultative process on the Women's Edge Plan as a tool for promoting a whole-of-government approach to implementing commitments to CEDAW. Because of the project's activities, there is greater understanding of CEDAW as a standard for public policy outcomes, and we have sought to enhance women's access to justice, especially for women living in plural legal contexts where there may be competing value systems based on unequal gender stereotypes. And we have sought to enhance the capacities of rural, indigenous, and Muslim women to advocate in their own interests, including more recently in the context of the extractive industries, land rights, and climate change affected communities. How has CEDAW made a difference in the lives of women and girls? Over the course of this consultation, we will hear the stories of our partners, and we will get an understanding of the ways in which women's lives, their relationships at the community level have changed or are being changed as a result of the strengthened policy environment. This national consultation marks for UN Women a transition in our common work for the promotion of CEDAW. The project officially closes on June the 30th, but beyond projects, beyond programs, the work on CEDAW continues, and the Philippines is a beacon of possibilities. We are here to inspire one another to recommit to CEDAW and to commit to sustaining the work that is being undertaken in an increasingly diverse context and by a diverse range of actors. I wish to express UN Women's appreciation for the PCW, and if I may, I also wish to express appreciation for the UN Women team in the Philippines. And finally, I wish to thank the Government of Canada for its generous support and for being a constant companion in this regional initiative to improve human rights for Southeast Asia. I wish you all a productive and interactive consultation.